it's Sammy from Sammy's Sweet Life, and I have a very exciting video today. I have my sterling ink box, so I did end up placing 2 orders on launch day. Sad story. I wanted the complete planner. I knew it was gonna sell out pretty fast, so I was on there, and I was on there like, I don't know, 5 minutes before the actual launch or something like that. So I ended up getting checked out before the clock struck whatever time the launch was. There's so many of these launches, I can't keep them all straight. But I checked out, and then I went back to go get my plastic cover and a couple other like smaller things, less important things. Like I want to use the complete planner as an actual my everything planner next year. So it was super crucial for me to get it. I was there right on time to get it because I just knew it was going to sell out. And then I went to go get my plastic cover, and I realized there were 2 different prices on the complete planners. One was $5 more, and I realized I checked out with the B6. I really wanted the A5. So I panicked for a second. I went really quick, added the other planner to my order, the A5 complete, and they were already sold out of the gold edges. So I did end up getting an A5 complete planner, but I got the white edges, which I'm not the most excited about. I could have pre-ordered the one with the gold edges later because she did end up running a pre-order afterwards, but I was like, I'll just live with the white edges. And then thankfully they refunded me for the B6. I was like, hey, can you guys please cancel this? I totally ordered the wrong size. I just must have read it wrong. I don't know, because I was looking for A5. I just totally must have misread something. And thankfully they refunded my money. I was able to get the A5 complete planner, but I checked out, I'll insert the number up on the screen. So I placed 1 order, and then almost exactly 10 minutes later, I placed a second order, and they were over 3,000 orders apart at the launch. So within like 10 minutes of the launch, I ordered my first one a few minutes before, I ordered the second one 10 minutes later, but it was still like 10 minutes under the launch go time, and it was over 3,000 orders between the 2. So my order did not get here until October the 4th, and I ordered on launch day in under 10 minutes. It still took my order weeks and weeks to get here. So definitely know that it's gonna take your order a while if you order on launch day. Like she said immediately in the beginning, but I thought, you know, oh, I'm ordering under 10 minutes. And then when I realized the order numbers were 30,000 orders apart, I was like, oh, it is really gonna take weeks and weeks. So my order finally did get here weeks and weeks later. I'm so excited. I've watched other people's unboxings just like over and over again, watching the unboxing videos. And so I already know kind of what to expect as far as all the layout goes. And I'm very excited. I'll walk you guys through how I plan on using this. We'll walk through, let's see, what is this? This is my plastic cover in here. So I did end up getting the right size plastic cover for the planner that I did get, which was the A5. And I don't know that I'm gonna use it or not. I thought because the color is pink and it's very light that I may end up covering it, even though it feels like, you know, a grandma couch cover. I don't know. I thought with the lighter color, it might be best to have that clear cover. So I did end up ordering it. So I love the pink color. You guys know every year I've gotten the pink sterling ink planner, and I'm so glad my A5 is back in an actual pink cover. And they also offered the fairy floss in the regular A5, you know, the bendy, normal kind of covers. But I wanted this hardcover. I love the Hobonichi Hones for the hardcovers. And I was stoked that she did a hardcover. Like, I thought, oh, there's no way I'm ordering sterling inks this year. I have plenty of things I can redate because, you know, year after year they make minor tweaks, but generally speaking, it's about the same book, the same layout, and I tend to prefer the same layouts over and over again, the same sizing over and over again. So I thought between all the other orders I've placed for review purposes and things, I had plenty to work with, and I thought, oh, I'll just redate all the same things. I won't even order anything from Sterling Ink, maybe like a monthly booklet for like a really simple subject, which I did order booklets, but then I saw this and I was like, oh my gosh, I need this. I think this is like the perfect setup. I would love it to come in horizontal, but I'll show you what I'm gonna do with it to make my own kind of horizontal layout. And I did love the ring layout that she offered that had horizontal and vertical, so I'm gonna adapt that for this. But man, when I saw a hardcover and it was pink, I knew in my heart of hearts this was the one planner for sure that I am going to be using for 2026, and I'm very excited about it. It sounds all smudgy because of the plastic on there. And then she showed another completely new layout as well, so I did end up ordering that. It's a different kind of paper. I've got kid scissors here because I need to open this one. Let's try not to scuff anything. So this one does not have the gold edging, like I said, sold out because I totally did a bonehead thing and just ordered the wrong size. I couldn't believe I did that. It didn't even cross my mind that I had accidentally ordered a B6 size until I went and saw the price difference. I was like, wait a minute, why is this $5 cheaper? And then I realized, oh crap, I ordered the wrong one. So thankfully this one was still in stock and there was a pre-order, and I'm sure she'll have extras to put as available in the store once the pre-orders are filled. So this is very soft. It's fabric-y. It doesn't feel like a coated fabric like some of the hardcovers. They do feel like a coated thing, so if you spilled something on it, it would wipe off relatively easily. This totally does not feel like that at all. So I actually do think it will get dirty and scuffed up over time, especially if I'm throwing it in and out of a bag or something to go to dance. And it's chunky. I did not bring up a regular size sterling ink, but this one's definitely chunkier. It's big. So I just love it. It's very big, very heavy, very bulky, very thick and chunky. I just love it. And there is an elastic band, so you can leave it like that, or you can wrap it around the inside. There's also the accordion pocket. There's also a ribbon bookmark or two. I don't know how many. A lot of them have two. Some of them have one. So I'm probably going to just leave it like that. I don't really love elastics, but if I throw it into a bag, I may end up using an elastic. It is 2 ribbon bookmarks. I feel like most of them are usually 2. All the way to the end, which some people really prefer. So you can grab it, pull it all the way up and around, and they're so pretty. They're matching, coordinating colors. Let's see, compared to the actual cover, it's like one's a little bit lighter, one's a little bit darker. Gorgeous. It's just such a beautiful pink. I love it so much. I just love the colors of it. I love the hardcoverness. It is, you know, not a coated fabric, so it might get a little bit dirty over time with fingers and things. So you can do the plastic if you want to protect it a little bit more. I will just mostly have it at home, so I don't think it's a huge risk, except like, you know, oils from your fingers and things. Okay, so we're going to walk through all the pages. This is TRP. She did some pen reviews, or Estelle also did pen reviews, and they kept the same TRP paper, which she also is offering a different paper for a different planner. But Just Scribble and Wonderland 222 also did Sanzen Tomoe River paper pen tests, and they went in a different direction. They both used different papers. So I did order things from both of them as well to pen test and see ultimately what's the best thing. I did end up having some defective paper here and there for my 2025 planners, and it wasn't so much of a deal breaker. Honestly, I still use fountain pens. I just knew going into it that certain fountain pens were going to feather a lot more and the pages were going to be, you know, seeping through, but I didn't use any of them as like my everyday functional, has to be my all of my brain stuff in it. So it wasn't crucial to me. It's just like journaling, jotting down notes here and there. So I think it's more important for 2026 because I'm going to be using this as like my full-time planner, and I can go to black ink only if I need to, but I've been told by 2 companies that yes, the paper is better. Actually, Hobonichi also said that, but they didn't show us pen tests, whereas Catherine from Sterling Ink did, and also or Estelle pen tests. They all showed pen tests. So it's like mix half and half, whether the company's stuck with Sanzen or switched. So I really don't know what to expect, honestly. I don't know if it's super duper improved or it's just improved enough that the companies thought it was okay, but 2 other companies were like, no, we're not going to chance it. I don't know. I don't know all the ins and outs, but I'm going to test out all the new papers this year because people went with various things. So I'm going to use this one and I'm so excited. So walking through, it's the same basic concept as other TRP planners. A lot of these TRP planners have about the same insides, about the same layouts, but they do it in their own unique style. I really like Catherine's very classic, very sleek grayscale. It's dark, but not too dark, and it just speaks to me. I've been a fan of hers. I think this font is a little bit different from previous years, potentially. We'll compare at the end. I'll bring up some other planners to compare, but I feel like this font looks a little bit more sleek. I like it a lot. And yeah, nice and dark. The circles for the week numbers on here. And you can like dot code this. I do plan on using this for like schools and closing things. My kids are super into dance. I've got a 5th year competitive dancer, and so yeah, we had to keep track of travel dates and competition days and dance studio closing dates. So I'll be setting up a color coding system in here. And then this is like an index style page. So you can do whatever you want with this 2-page grid. And then the goal setting system, I actually use the Moxie Life system, so I've never really taken to this system. I like the idea of it, but I use the Moxie Life system. We have 8 categories, and this is 6 different categories or spaces, so it just doesn't work for my, you know, I've been in Moxie Life for years and years, so at this point it's like ingrained. But here's where you put your, it's called goal breakdown. You've got the boxes to do like different categories or one specific goal in each box, however you want to divvy it up. And then you go from like the broad, dreamy, someday idea all the way to your daily tasks in order to get there. So it breaks it down piece by piece, time sections. Someday, 1 year, half year, quarterly, monthly, weekly, daily. So you can write in all the little tasks or, you know, bigger picture things to get you to whatever goal you're trying to achieve. And I do love the breakdown. I just never have really implemented it because I use the Moxie Life system. But one of these days, I'm going to fill this out, dang it. One of these days. Also, these pages are numbered because of the way the planner runs. It's one of the planners that's not chunked up. Like all the monthlies are not in the front. It's interspersed. It's got dispersed monthlies and weeklies. So the numbers help you find what you need. So that index page in the front, this 2-page thing, might come in handy because of all these pages that are going to be interspersed. So after the goal breakdown, you get your yearly page, and I love this page. So I'm thinking about putting all my workout stuff within this same planner, potentially. So this would be my miles tracker. I've been trying to get back on the bike. I got 1 day in last week, none this week. Oh my gosh, I had so many cake pops to make. I was frazzled by the end of this week. It's been my biggest week yet by far, and I still had to make more for Stella's party, which was today. So I'm like cake popped out for at least a few days. I've got a little break, but it was a lot. And I was like, wow, I got the most cake pops I've ever gotten. And then one of my good friends, who's been a really good supporter of mine since the beginning, she cheerleaded me on. She writes to me and she's like, hey, can I get 4 dozen cake pops this week? And I was like, oh my gosh. Like anybody else, I would have probably said no. Like if a new customer had come in and tried to get some that's, you know, a relatively short turnover, like the same week, I totally would have had to say no, but it was somebody who I absolutely love, and I was like, yes, I'm gonna do it. I know I can do it, but it was tough, guys. So there was no bike riding this week. Even though I did get on the bike last week, I will get back on it this coming up week when things slow down a little bit better. Anyway, so mileage, this will be a great place to track my mileage. And then moving into the quarterly pages again, like if I'm doing mileage here, I could totally do my workouts in the quarterly section, and that would be all of my workout stuff within these first 5 pages chunked together. So I could have this be all of my workout goodness in the same planner I'm already using, unless I come up with some other thing I want to use this for, because these things are so versatile. You can use these for goals, reading, workouts, appointments, holidays, anniversaries, birthdays tracking, school events. If you're like big into volunteering, it could be your volunteer work on one thing, and then another thing entirely in the quarterly. You could do habit tracking. A lot of people dot pen different things, different goals. So they'll write like working out or whatever workout they want down the thing and check off whatever things that they do. I feel like I start really strong when I'm like, I'm gonna do all these habits, and then I'll like miss 1 or 2 days. Like if a migraine day happens or a busy day happens and I just don't remember or don't have the capacity to come back and check off my things, I'm like, oh, throw it in the garbage. I can't stick with it because I don't know if I did all those things 3 days ago, you know? So it's just one of those things where I'm like, I love it when people have these beautiful trackers and bar graphs and whatever color coding and things they do, but I just cannot stick with it. I have that really all or nothing thought process where I'm like, if I miss a few days and the whole thing's not complete, I might as well not do it. And I'm trying not to do that much all or nothing thinking, you know, because if you like get 15 out of the 30 days checked off, that's still half of the month where you're doing XYZ. But it's just such a versatile layout. So I could use it for workouts. It's all of those quarterlies all together. So there's December, and then you move into your first monthly, and they give you December, and they also give you the following January at the end of the year. So I do notice that the writing is a whole lot darker. The grid lines seem plenty dark, so I'm happy with how this looks, and I really like the monthly tracker in here. The next month, week, if there's like a 5th what is it? If there's a 6 week, like if there's 1 day here and 1 day here, it drops down. So I'll see if I can find one of those as we flip. So the thing with this one is, it's a little bit interesting how everything's done. I'll move things out of the way for now. It's a little bit interesting how this one is laid out because it is interspersed, and you know, there are these weeks, most weeks don't start on the Monday or Sunday whenever your weekly spread starts. It'll be like here, like the first here will start on a Thursday, so it's in the middle of the week, and she decided to put duplicate weeks in for these weeks. So every month that has days in 2 different months, you get that weekly spread in each section. Because it is dispersed, you have one set of the index tabs because all of your month is chonked up together, and you get a little bit of overlap. So it's going to make some people crazy to have that extra page. It's also going to make some people super duper happy because they want their entire month stuck together, and they're not going to write on these 4 pages when they're in the December month. Of course, you don't get all the December days because you're just getting the monthly extra for that. You get a few dailies, but we'll walk through what a typical one will look like after we just walk through these front beginning pages, but it's your entire month together. So you got the little thumb tab sections to find your whole month, and we'll walk through one. I just want to walk through these beginning pages. You get that extra December, and after each monthly, there is a 2-page grid spread. So this would be a great goal setting, you know, monthly goal setting, or a currently page, or it could be your workouts for the month. You could draw in another monthly if you want a monthly for like a reading tracker and one for a workout tracker. There's lots of things you can do with a 2-page spread. So I love that that's included in, especially right at the beginning of the month, especially for goal setting. That's a great one. And so it is only in the vertical option right now, and this is your typical like Hobonichi Cousin size vertical columns. They're about 1.3 inches, and so any Hobonichi Cousin vertical kits for stickers and stuff fit in these. I get the Hubman and Chub Girl stickers, and oh my gosh, the November is guinea pigs knitting. I wanted to say crocheting. I'm going to use it like crocheting, but it is actually 2 hooks. Yeah, it's guinea pigs crocheting / knitting, a lot of yarn, a lot of cozy sweaters and mittens and things that they have knitted. And it's so cute, just super duper cute. I'll end up getting more Hobonichi style stickers from Hubman and Chub Girl over the various months, and they fit really good in these columns. So they have a couple of updates on this page, the main one just being the timeline's a little bit different. So it goes from 6 a.m. here, you got 3 grids before the 6, and then you have 12 midnight here. You got a lot of space down at the bottom and just a little space up at the top. But the timeline, I think, used to drop all the way down. And we'll compare to a last year book. The font looks a little bit darker, and the numbers are right on the line, which can be a little bit annoying when you are using Hobonichi stickers in here, because you get a little bit of that like number overhang on the side of this line and on the side of this line. You get your monthly calendar here with the week circled, whatever week you're in. So this is the one that's going to be duplicated for 2 different months. So you got the December 29th through January 4th, and then in the January, this is going to be your first monthly in the January section. So here you see, like, it says 12-1, that's December and January, same exact week. December 29th through January 4th. So same exact week, but you get it under both month sections. So each month's section starts with the actual monthly calendar, and then the January monthly calendar. So you get those weeks, these weeks, duplicated in both things. And some people are going to love it, some people are going to hate it. And like me, I'm going to pick one, probably like the new month. So I'm used to it being like every day is under the first tab. So like if this week takes any January days, it's going to be under the January tab. And then the last week of January will be with the February tab. I'm used to that. That's kind of more how Erin Condren does it. Plum Paper Planner does split. They do offer it like this, where they'll have like half the week grayed out and then half of it's in the whatever color it's a tongue twister. Plum Paper Planner uses. It will be in there as both weeks. I like this. There's no differentiating between like the color. It's not lighter. It's all the same grayscale. And you can tell when the month starts because it'll give you the month on this one. So that one does say Jan, J-A-N for January, along with the days of the week. And I like this. I'm going to have to use this or come up with a way to use it, or just leave it blank. I'm cool with leaving blanks too. It doesn't bother me to have a blank page, but I feel like it just gives you more pages. So you know, most months you're going to have an extra 2-page spread. It does have some stuff on it, but you could still like just write across the page if you want to. So I could totally use it for notes if I want to. Like maybe set up a currently for each month, and like each column will be a different currently thing, like reading, listening to, enjoying, blah, 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 whatever. That's what's going to be duplicated, is those weeks, those split weeks. And then you get your daily pages. And I think, honestly, I think this is set up kind of weird. I don't love like this, okay? So you get your day number, your day month, your year, and also your day of the week, but they're spread out weird. And I get it, like you want to see what day it is as the biggest thing, but it just does not make sense to me for like across the page. It says Tuesday 2026, or this one happens to be 2025, Tuesday 2025, December 30. So like it just it's kind of weird. This one says December 29th, Monday 2025. Like the day of the week's in the middle, or the number of the year goes first if you're reading across. And I get you're like really supposed to focus in on these, but then I'm like, why even put the year in there at all? Or like the day of the week, you could just put the day of the week here. Like how you would read it, you would read it Tuesday, December 3rd. Okay, while I was editing this video, I realized that I ended up losing some footage. When I have the camera film too long, it totally cuts off and doesn't make any sort of noise or anything until the battery actually cuts off. So there's always like a minute or so lag between when it actually cuts off filming and when I realize it. So I was still talking, but all I was really saying is the writing on here is just kind of weird. I don't love where like the Tuesday and the year are together and then the month and the day are together. I feel like it should say Tuesday blah blah blah, and the year could just be over here all by itself. But the fact that they're the day of the week and the year together in the middle is just kind of weird to me. It's definitely not a deal breaker or anything, but it's just kind of a weird thing. And I get you want these on the ends closest to where you're going to be like thumbing through the pages, but I just don't love it that much. The fonts look pretty. I like the darkness of everything. It's just that wording is kind of strange to me, but I really like everything else about it. One thing I love about this layout is the whole thing is blank, whereas like in the Hobonichi, there's like a line that marks off 2/3, and then in other books, there's different divisions. The dog is in here making a lot of noise. He might be snoring, so where you guys can hear him, but we'll try to ignore that weird noise in the back. It's my dog snoring. But I like that the page is not broken up, and the timeline is so subtle on the left-hand side of the page that you don't have to use it if you don't want to. I may play around with using it some, not using it other times. And then if you want to divide the page evenly, there's a center dot. It's very subtle, but there's a dot in the center here and all the way down, so you know which line is the middle line. And same going this way, there's a dot here and a dot between the 4 o'clock and the 5 o'clock on that grid. So you can divide it into 4 really easily, or just half or half, just however you want. So I just wanted to come back, mention that, because I totally lost that bit of footage. I think I'm going to implement more of a bullet journaling style code for checking things off, because I really like the way that looks in people's planner. But I don't know if I'm going to use actual time blocking. I don't really need to use a whole lot. I just don't have a whole lot of timed things. So at the end of the month, this is what's going to change. You may end up with a 2-page spread, or 1-page spread like here, just depending on when your daily pages end. And this one's kind of weird because, again, like if you're splitting the weekly, you're not splitting the dailies. So all of your December pages are under the December monthly, all your January pages are under the January monthly for the dailies, and you get to choose which weekly you're going to use, or you can use half of one, half of the other. But this will change. You'll get a page or 2 pages at the end of the month when you move into your new month. I think she really thought this through, and there's a lot of goodness in here, and I like the way that it's set up. It just feels really intuitive. I like you get your built-in extra grid pages here and there as well. And so let's walk through a full month. So this is a month you get all of the days in weekly form and all of the days in daily form, whereas in December you only get the last week because it's combined with the January 1st. You get those 3 days in December. So you get your monthly, you get your 2-page spread, you move into the replicated weekly spread. So this is the same one that's under the December monthly. And like, this is one of the first planners I'm like, oh, maybe I do want tabs because all the stuff is together. I thought in like Hobonichis and stuff where people are doing 2 rows of tabs, like, or maybe even 3 rows. Sometimes people are doing monthlies too. Just like, I don't want to have that many tabs on my planner. This, where everything's chunked together, I may end up thinking about actually adding tabs. Here we go, moving in. First week, which is the duplicated week, you get all your days of the week. So this is just a half a week here, and this one you do get a 2-page spread before your next weekly. So here's a weekly. This is what a full week of dailies will look like. So your weekly, your days, here's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, extra page. So each week that's a full week, you get 1 extra page next week. And then you move into your dailies onward. So we've got dailies, a weekly, dailies, dailies. So each plain old week, you're going to have that built-in 1 page. So goal setting would be great in here because you have that room for your weekly goal setting. And I actually probably won't use the Saturday or Sunday, at least for sure not Sunday. So I could totally use this as my weekly reflections, my weekly actions as far as a Moxie Life system. I could totally make it work. And then this is your duplicated week because February starts here. So this week you'll get under the January right here. And then once you move into the monthly in February, you'll get this. And this is your split daily week. So you get all the January dailies. Here's January 31st. Full 2-page spread this time, just because of how the days fall. And then you move into your February monthly. So each month's going to be a different number of pages depending on how many days fall under each month, but you always getting that 1 page. Where is it? Here, see. So you got like 1 day in February and then 1 daily page before you move into the first February weekly. It's like the full daily pages. Month, 2-page spread, duplicated weekly, the only daily page in that month that falls in February, a daily or an extra page until you move into your full. This is all February days 2nd through 8th. So it does have a little bit of a duplication. It does have lots of note pages built in, which I love. I love all of it. And these are all dated. So you can go, if you're referring back to something or you write something down that you want to know about later, you can totally index those. And so I'm thinking I will have lots of room for adding my Moxie Life system into this one. Although I did get a Moxie Life to review as well. Let's go all the way to the end. They're all going to fall the same way. I do want to see if there's like a 6-week month. We're still in November. See, so that one's 6. So you get the full boxes. That's what I was trying to show you. So normal month where you don't need that 6th week, you get more space. And then, oh my gosh, did I just close that? Oh my gosh. And then you get that dropped down 6th week, just so you have 1 day. So you'll see the whole thing gridded out. Like this lighter gray for the days that aren't included in this month, but you get the full weeks. In case you're somebody who does like a 12-week system where you want all the week together, you have that option. So I like that it's dropped down and you don't just get like a half a day or a triangular box. I hate when they do a triangle box, but it's better to have the whole full entire box. So she drops it down like that. And then the months that don't have that, you get extra space down at the bottom. Also, oh, the week numbers are also on the side. I like she includes the week numbers. And we'll go all the way to the end. We're getting into December. You'll get a little bit of duplication for January. You can see there's even a thumb tab for this January section. And January's 2027, which is crazy to say 2027. It starts on a Friday. So you'll get your end of December 2-page spread, move into the duplicated weekly. Since this has 2 months on it, it's a duplicated one under both months. And then your daily pages and the end of that week, which will be January 3rd is the last day you get for 2027. And then back here, there's just the tiniest bit of note pages. I don't know how many she said. I'm not going to do math. I'll tell you guys. 651 to 671. 20-ish pages right there. And then all the pages interspersed. There's lots of note pages inside. Like I said, as far as like perks and things, you get the hardcover, which I love. You get the 2 ribbon bookmarks. You get the elastic band. You get the accordion pocket. Lots of note pages interspersed. I love all of the monthly stuff chunked together. Having the entire month chunked together like that, where the monthlies and dailies and weeklies are all chunked together, totally sold me on this one. And because you have 2 ribbon bookmarks, you could mark your monthly, you could mark your weekly, and then like have a thing that you move, either a tab or a bookmark or something that you move throughout the daily pages as the week goes on. So I plan on trying to fit so many things in here. I have a couple of things that I'm gonna potentially put with this, but my thought process would be, this is my daily type planner as far as to-do listing, productivity, keeping track of any day-to-day stuff, and then I'll do sticker sneeze / time blocking in this, and this may change from week to week. Some weeks I'm gonna sticker it up all like top to bottom. Some weeks I'll do black pen only or just a fountain pen only. Some weeks I'll do highlighter streaks. This is where I'm gonna like play around with my layout. I probably will also play around a little bit with these daily page layouts. I plan on incorporating in my goal setting in here potentially as well. I'm pretty sure I will. I also want to put my meal plan in here as well. The punched pages that are supposed to be ring bound system pages, she used a different paper for that, and she also has this more flexible layout. Some people are calling it hybrid, some people are calling it all-in-one, some people are calling it flex. She added horizontal sections to a vertical layout, and all she did, like, it's genius. I just never would have even thought about it. She took a vertical, it looks just like this, vertical spread, same kind of thing, same timeline, same design, and made the horizontal parts right over here, which I've seen people do the opposite, where they have the horizontals all the way across and then just the little boxes across the top as the daily vertical little tiny boxes. So I totally plan on doing that. I'm gonna set up all the days of the week down this sidebar and have a little horizontal section, so that way I can have like the most standout things or the most important tasks of the day in the sidebar, or maybe the meal plan, or maybe my workout for the week. I'm gonna have that and start using it and seeing how it goes, because I think that's so genius. I don't know, something about when she did that, I was like, wow, it's so cool. The other people doing flex style layouts, they'll have the vertical on one spread, and then the next spread will be the horizontal layout across the 2-page spread. And that's something I totally could do too. Let's go to a week where, so here's the week, here's where the Sunday is for the week, and this is the blank page. So this could also just turn into a vertical spread going here, because you have that note page every single week. So I'm thinking I'm going to incorporate some horizontal here. I might have said vertical when I was going like this. I'm like, vertical spread. I meant horizontal if I said the wrong thing. I hosted a kid birthday party and I'm zonked. Like, after all the cake pops and hosting a party today, I am zonked. I might be saying the wrong thing. I might be glitching over my words. But my thought was, this could be a horizontal spread easily. And because I don't typically need, we're gonna move into one. I don't typically need an entire Saturday, Sunday. This probably won't be used. This probably won't be used. And this blank page probably won't be used. So I could totally be like, this is a horizontal for the week for whatever I want to track on the horizontal. I could set up my like new week here, my reflections and weekly actions here for my Moxie Life system, move into my next week, and I could do the horizontals here for like my meal plan for the week. You know, this could be like outlining all my cake pops for the week, or my bigger tasks for the days or whatever, and outline my week here. This could be my more practical, like setting it up the day of, and then my weekly plan here, or my workout here. There's so many things you can do with this. I just love, there's so much room in here. I'm giddy about this. You can tell I'm super psyched about this one. When I saw this layout and she was flipping through it in those little YouTube shorts, I was like, oh, I love it so much. This is one of the planners I'm most excited about and have been most excited about for a long time. There have been so many good ones coming out that were like duo or flex layouts with 2 weekly spreads, but you could totally make this one into as flexible as you want. So there's tons of note pages, tons of extra pages. There's that duplicated weekly spread in most of the months. So it's just so good. It's so good. I gushed about it a ton. Let's go ahead and do the clear cover really quick. At the end of the video, I will bring up another vertical spread and share it with you guys. So this is the cover. And one thing that pushed me over to getting this cover is it's very much like the Wonderland 222 clear cover, which has a pin loop on it. So I love having a pin with my book. And so it's much like the Wonderland 222. It's actually inside out right now, I think. Is it? Yeah, this is the inside flaps here. So there's room for that elastic band if you want to use your elastic band. Stick it in there. I'm actually not going to stick it in because I'm not going to break this seal. I'm going to just hide the elastic band inside this cover. I don't know that I'm going to keep this on my planner, but the only other clear cover I have ever liked is the Wonderland 222 one, and it has like a pocket right here, which is very helpful. Of course, you can use these as pockets too. And I also love that it has a pin loop. I'm not going to pull this apart because I don't want to unstickify that little seal together. But I definitely want to see this thing in here. And some people said it was a little bit of a tight squeeze. Some people said it fit like a glove. So far, it's fitting like a glove for me. Let's see if this side goes. And these are sewn just like all the other TRP planners. So you're not going to break your planner by bending it back like this. You can bend it all you want. Same with those flexible covers. They're sewn. They're not typically going to fall apart or go anywhere on you. Smooth out. It is a little bit tight. You can see it's like flapping up, but I think it'll stretch out over time, and people use their hair dryer and stuff to warm it up, make it fit a little bit better. I am getting a little bit of flopping. I think it already stretched out decently enough. Oh, also, this is a sewn book. It's supposed to lay pretty flat. Like, okay, I had to push it down like the tiniest bit, but I'm not super concerned that the pages are going to like flip back and forth on themselves. They're pretty much stuck wherever you put them. I did flip through it a little bit with you guys, but I mean, it's laying pretty flat. So you don't have to worry about that. I know some people are really sticklers on how flat it will lay. It's flat enough, guys. It's a huge chunky book. It's still like flapping out nice and neat. And there's the ribbon. It's just so pretty. And I may keep the cover on it, may not. I am going to chalk this up with some stickers here and there, but I don't know how deep I'm going to go into the stickers. So it remains to be seen if it's going to really chonk up and be huge and fluffy. I kind of want to see the capabilities, but I also kind of want to just have it be a normal sized book as well, especially if I'm going to use it all year long for like tons of things. I'm trying to think if I want to try to put pretty much everything in this book that I'm going to have for the year. I might do that. Just like add a couple of monthly booklets on and call it done. I ordered some monthly booklets from other companies as well, not just the ones I'm going to show you guys today. So that's the complete planner. I talked about it way too much because I'm so excited. This is one I've been most excited about out of the 2026 launch. I'll show you guys some other ones that are like new to me or pretty revolutionary. I did end up ordering quite a few just because of the new paper or new layouts. This is one I actually want to have in my lineup for sure, whereas other ones I'm either just excited to review them for you guys because they're so new and cool and I want to test them out and play around with them, but I don't have like a set thing I want to do with it. I see myself like living in this planner, so I'm very excited about this one. You get some freebies with this. I always save these little envelopes too to put in like little thank you notes for people. You get the little contact card information there, some cute little washi stickers, and hers are super thin. It doesn't bulk up your planner all that much because it's that beautiful washi vellum type stickers. And her designs are really beautiful. I like more, you know, kawaii, super cutesy stickers. This is not generally my jam, although I do love florals. So there's some designs I happen to really like, and this one really, really pretty, not gonna lie, super pretty. I've seen a few from her that are more like Alice in Wonderland-y, which I love. I think it's such a cute vibe, and I loved Through the Looking Glass as a kid. Like that was one of my favorite books, reading it again and again. I just always, I don't know, always connected with Lewis Carroll, Alice in Wonderland vibes. So that one's still very beautiful. Love. All right. I did get one other planner, and we're not going to walk through it as much because it's set up pretty much like all the other Sterling inks. So if you've seen one, you've pretty much seen them all. Except this one is called, Livy's in here being a good mom. Okay, go make your popcorn. All right, we had some interruptions, but if you've seen one Sterling ink planner, you've pretty much seen them all. This one is the new what they're calling Core Planner, and I'm excited about this because it is a skinny mini and it's all the pages and it's different paper, so lots of things. So this one's more like celestial vibes, which is still really pretty. I like the color combo of this one. Very cute. So this one's a Core Planner. I did get the gold edge. I typically do. This one only comes in black and it only comes in vertical. So that's what you got. I'm hoping that this one will come in horizontal because I would love to pair this with a horizontal Core Planner. It's a much skinnier planner. Even with the thicker paper, it's still like about the size of a half year, maybe even skinnier than a half year. Again, we'll compare. I've got other planners to look at with this. And this one I did get in the A5 size as well because I think it would pair really nicely with this or any of the, like I have a cake pop planner that's a 7x9. It's an Erin Condren 7x9 planner, so it could pair really nicely with that one as well. It's just an A5 vertical, and again, like same layout as this one, so I don't know if I'm gonna actually use it. The paper does feel significantly thicker. It feels like, you know, more of like your typical planner paper, not like your crinkly TRP Bible-y type paper. This one's definitely more significant and I can't wait to pen test it. Same layout, but this one is your typical Sterling ink planner where all your stuff's in the front. It's the same pages we already walked through in the beginning pages, your yearly, your quarterlies. Some of these may be stuck together because the gold edging sometimes sticks together. It doesn't seem to be sticking too bad. You get into your monthlies and then these are all back to back. So your typical Sterling inks will all have your monthlies together, all your weeklies together, and then your regular pages, your just grid pages. And this one doesn't have as many of those note pages. That's basically the difference. It's your full year of monthlies, full year of weeklies, but only a few dailies. Or, you know, note pages. In this case, it wouldn't be even close to one per day. This is 23 in the back here. Goes to number 23. So just a few note pages in the back. This is really just your weeklies and monthlies for the most part. There is the compact, which happens to have like 120 some odd pages in the back. And then your full year planners, they all have the monthlies, they all have the goal setting and all the stuff in the front, and quarterlies and things. They all have your weekly pages, all your monthly pages. It's just that number of the pages in the back. The full year ones have enough of the pages in the back for a full year. It's like 369 pages, so you get one per day. They aren't dated. This one has dated pages, and then there's a separate planner called the Daily Planner. It doesn't have weekly pages, it just has the same daily pages like this. I think it has monthlies, but no weeklies. So you do have that option as well. There's lots of different options, tons of different sizes. They incorporated in more new sizes this year. And yeah, I'm an A5 girly. I love TN, I love week size. I haven't tried B6 in a long time. But yeah, I wanted to try out the new paper. I like that it was more slimline because I don't need a ton of note pages in every planner. Like if I'm using this for just the weekly or the weekly and monthly, a lot of planners I don't even use the monthly. Honestly, I'll just stick to those weekly pages. I could totally see using this as like a one subject thing because it's a thinner type planner. So I got it. I can cover this cover. I have another video. Some people still are not happy with the cover options in whatever size and layout they want. You can vinyl cover this. You can buy the vinyl on Amazon super cheap. Lots of different patterns and colors and glitters and all the things. I have videos on that. So if you want to cover your planner, it's totally a doable thing. I'll link to that video down below for you guys. And I got 2 booklets. So this is one of those things where I'm like, okay, I don't stick with B6 size. I've never tried a B6 Slim. I also like TN size. We'll compare it with a TN2. I was like, I don't know why. This is one of those things, okay? We're gonna get into it. It's one of those things where I'm like, does it really make that much difference between a TN or an A5 and an A5 Slim? This is an A5 Slim. Look, it's a ½ inch difference. This is one of those things where I'm like, does that ½ inch really make that much difference in your planner? Same with the B6 versus the B6 Slim. Does that ½ inch difference really make that much difference? But we're gonna find out. I just wanted the monthlies and I got an A6 Slim just to look at it, but also because if I'm going to put my reading journal in one of the slimmer monthlies, because I just really like to keep track of monthly stuff. There's enough note pages in here. I think I can get away with it as a reading log or even a workout journal, honestly, workout planner. I wanted to be able to stick a planner inside here, which 2 is not going to work. 1 I probably could get away with, but look, the A5 sticks out. The A6 wouldn't stick out as bad. So I could pair that, and like I could stick this in a folder in a regular A5 floppy type planner. I could stick that in a folder or just set it on top. But I thought, you know, that 1/2 inch might make a big difference if I'm containing a planner in here. With the elastic band, I could totally wrap it around here and have it elastic banded together. And then that's my workout journal in here, my reading journal in the front pages in here, or the other way around. Also, health and wellness and migraine log type stuff. I like having that as a separate little thing. So it could be all of my migraine stuff in a monthly. I also ordered a few different other monthly options as well. So I have those. We'll flip through one real quick. It's just the monthly pages and a couple extras. And these also only come in black this year. Sometimes she was doing these in brown. So in previous years I have brown ones. I typically will stick to one of these for a health kind of tracking thing for me as a migraine sufferer. This cover feels a lot thicker than in previous years, but I haven't had a black cover in a while. It's nice and thick. Walking through it yearly, index page, goal setting, year to glance, quarterly, 3 pages, 4 pages, monthlies. So monthlies are all back to back, and then you get a few actual pages in the back here. Going through, you get the December before and the January after your year, and then these pages are numbered, so you get just a few, not a whole lot. These ones you have 17, so that could totally just be my reading log. I just really like to give myself a sticker for the month. I could also keep track of the books here. I could also keep track of what things I read here, because sometimes I'm reading on my Kindle, sometimes I'm listening to an audiobook. I could keep track of that kind of stuff here. I also just like giving myself a sticker, and whatever day I finish up a book, I write it down. And right now I'm using a Hobonichi Weeks, but I'm finding I don't need the weekly pages and I don't need all the pages in the back. So I feel like this is plenty. I can keep track of whatever series I'm in. I write down all the series books, or whatever books I read for the entire year. I have a running list of all the books I read, although I'll mark them on the monthlies. So I'm definitely considering one of these for health, fitness, wellness type situation, and then also one for reading, because it's so thin and easy, and I can have my one little subject, and it just doesn't take up a bunch of room, whereas a Hobonichi Weeks has a ton of actual week pages, and any kind of planner like this size, I don't need a whole weekly spread for my workouts or my reading log or my migraine tracking. I could totally get away with just, multiples of these, or even honestly, I could put my reading log here on the monthlies, and then all of my health stuff in the front section. So it really could be both things in one, whereas this would all be my fitness and wellness. This would be my reading log. And I could even track migraine days just on the dot tracker. So I could really just put it all in just one monthly. And between one monthly and one complete planner, I'm set for all the things I want to keep track of. Besides I have a gaming planner, I have a K-pop planner, and that's pretty much all I plan on having, guys. I'm not doing a ton, and I'm trying to make things smaller, so I could totally do the booklets. So this is just the A5 size. It's the same thing, except 1/2 inch smaller about. I don't exactly know the different size, but I mean, come on, they're basically the same. As far as the month squares, they're not that much different. See, it's not that big a difference, so I could see using either or using both. I obviously won't put them both in there, but again, stacked in some sort of cover, I'm set for all the extra things between the monthlies, the core. I got a couple other planners coming as well in the same A5 size. That's really what I'm thinking. I'm thinking of going super small for some of these one subject type situations, not having full-on dedicated planners for every single subject, and combining more things, because this one is so robust and chunky. I feel like I can fit so much in here. The kids are playing with a ball, so I hear them bouncing a ball out there. Hopefully they're not listening to me talk. But yeah, I'm super excited about this. This is one I'm most excited about for this year. And I loved the Erin Condren dashboard layout. That was one other one I got mid-year, but it's an 18 month, so it'll be throughout 2026 for me. Also, another one of these one subject things, I'm thinking about content planning as well. I could combine it with other things, but I do like to have a clean, sleek monthly for content planning. I have plenty of notes pages throughout other planners and things, so I could do something like that where just my content planning is there, or other places if I need more notes pages. But I really want to do the sticky note situation with the monthly spread and some sticky notes and just have them in there. So that's also another one of these like one subject type things. So if I find that I want another like skinny mini monthly, I'll pick one up just so it's already dated and I don't bulk it up with stickers, because it will be one of those where it's like, it's just kind of a one pen situation, one fountain pen or one black pen situation for these kind of planners. So yeah, I like the sleekness, the thinness of the booklet style. And now we are going to jump into comparing. I didn't really talk much about some of this, but I also got a postcard. I noticed that after I stopped filming, I did have a postcard. So it is the next night for me to finish filming this. So I wanted to compare first to the half year size. So this is one of the half years. This one happened to be from 2024. And they're just half of the year weekly pages and half of the year daily pages. And it seems to be about the same size. Maybe the teeny tiniest sliver skinnier. Yeah, I would say like just a hair thinner than this book if you're putting them spine by spine. Height-wise, I don't know if you can see that tiniest little overhang of the black one, and then also like the tiniest hair sticking out further. And I think the sticking out further just is how this cover happens to be a little bit thicker. So the pink sticks out like the tiniest bit more from the edge just because the cover seems to be thicker right here. So I think they're basically the same size, like not exactly millimeter for millimeter, the exact same size, but close enough. And then thickness wise, I was trying to put the pages right up against each other. It looks to be like the tiniest sliver thicker. It is different paper and it has a lot less note pages, so it just makes a little bit difference. And I'm noticing like this is an older one. It's a 2024. The gold definitely seems quite a bit faded and maybe like a different tone, where this seems a little bit warmer, brassier tone. This one seems a little bit yellower. And that could just be over time, or it could just be they use different gold. You know, I can see it up on the screen here, so you probably can see it too. It's like two different shades, but because this one's older, it could just be natural aging process, or it could be an entirely different gold. But it is definitely rosier, warmer toned on the older book, which is interesting. I didn't even think that the gold could be a tiny bit different over the years. Here's one from 2025. Let's do the same comparison. Yeah, it's looking a little bit warmer on the oldest one, so maybe they used a different gold. These two look a little bit more similar. If you guys can see, this oldest one looks a little rosier than these two. Although they don't look exactly the same either. It might just be how it applies to each paper. This is a different type of paper entirely, so who knows? I don't know. I never thought to look at them up close. Just happened to catch it when it was turning. So I didn't have a full year unused A5, so I grabbed a full year. This is an N2, which is the week's size, but thickness wise, I wanted to see it comparatively, and it definitely is a lot thinner. You can see size wise, this is going to be your comparable A5 because there's a cover on this one, and then even bigger plastic cover. It's definitely a different size. Like you can see all around the edges, there's significant size difference just because of that big cover. And you can even tell on the cover itself, like the pages are a lot slimmer versus the cover, which that's what you get in a hardcover. You do get an overhang. As far as the pages themselves, they look to be like true-ish A5 size, comparing it to the actual A5 book. It looks to be the exact same page size. It's just the cover, it happens to make this book a lot bigger. I would like to do a video at some point trying to stuff this into my A5 covers, because I think it probably would fit in some of them. Maybe not so much with the plastic wrap on it, but without the plastic, I think I could probably squeeze it into some. Thickness wise, like I said, but it does have significantly more pages in the hardcover. And then with the cover itself, it's even thicker. So it's probably like 1.5 times a full year size book. Comparatively, like looking at the spines themselves, it's significantly different. So just keep that in mind. It's a bigger, bulkier book with a harder, heavier cover. The cover sticks out a lot more, so it may not fit in all your covers, potentially. So just keep all that in mind. I wanted to compare size-wise. Now, I do want to compare also color-wise, font-wise. Start back at the year. I feel like this looks different than I remember the other year ones looking. No, it's the same font. It definitely looks a little bit darker, but also this one's a little bit smaller size form factor. Let's look at the older ones. I guess all caps looks different than the fonts that I was thinking of, like for the days of the week potentially. It just looks just a touch darker than the previous year. This one looks pretty much the same. I feel like the 2025s didn't look quite as dark. Yeah, that looks lighter than this, but the 2024 looked darker. So I don't know if she's gone back and forth or I just got one that happened to be dark for 2024. Like 2024 looks dark, the 2025 looks light, and then the 2026 again looks pretty dark. The gray circles are much darker here versus the 2024 circles. And then the year at a glance page was not included until 2025. It just went right from the goal setting to the quarterly pages, and I think she tried something new for 2025, which was the squared off. And the squared off, and then I think she changed it back here to not all of it being squared off. So this is squared off. And then the habit trackers, there's just lighter circles, so you're not having the same squared off look. And this, let's see, darkness-wise, is it the same level of darkness? Oh, see, I think this might be a touch darker. Just like the letters themselves look darker here, not so much the gray section behind it. Maybe a touch darker gray here, but the font, the words definitely look darker. And like monthlies, just, you know, just comparing. I do think it just looks darker here. Yeah, it looks a little bit more bold and dark here versus these numbers look a little bit lighter. And also, you know, it's the size factor as well. Let's look at 2024 for the numbers. Yeah, significantly darker in my opinion than these. And these are the same size, A5 versus A5. So we're comparing apples to apples here. And yeah, it looks definitely bolder, darker than here. So there you go. If you were worried that the Sterling ink font was a little bit too light, it's definitely darker this year on everything. So the font, I was just thinking, I was remembering all the font looking like this lowercase and not the caps, the all caps, but I think the all caps have been there. I think this has always been all caps. I don't know, I was just remembering it. Yeah, up at the top here, this is all caps. So maybe just the daily page has that. The daily page is what's throwing me off. I'm like, maybe they changed the font, and I think it's just those daily pages. Yeah, all these are the same, although darker, more bold in the new versus the old, but this is the one I was like, that doesn't look the same as I remember the font looking. I was definitely questioning it on the year page, where I was like, that looks like a new font, because I'm remembering this font now for the daily pages. But anyway, I think that's enough comparison for this video. We'll do a pen test in another video. Okay, I went and grabbed another one. This is a TN size, which she calls N1. And this is a weekly, and it comes in 2 parts. It's your entire year in weekly pages, and I do love this layout, the horizontal with the dashboard, just grid style page next to it. And I've really thought about repurposing these potentially. That would be a great content planner. Just, you know, I don't need tons of notes in the back. So it's just your weekly pages all the way through in 2 different books. Like, what, a lined page in the back, a 2-page lined page in the back, but, or grid page in the back, but I could totally still repurpose this. That would be a great content planner potentially. Even a cake pop planner, if I wanted to get much smaller, I could totally see myself moving to more TN size things. But here's the comparison, guys. It really is not a huge leap. N1, which is the TN standard size, is like ½ an inch skinnier width-wise than the A5 Slim, and then the actual A5 size. So I like all 3 of these sizes, to be honest. I just don't think, like, when I'm looking at this, I'm not like, oh, this one's too skinny, this one's too chunky. I really want something right in between. And so I need an A5 Slim. So it's interesting to me that that ½ an inch on either side of these 2 planners makes that much difference, and the A5 Slim is the perfect one for some people. It's just kind of interesting to me that there are that many choices that are that close together. Like, this is significant, you know? It's different on both sides. Passports, B6, they're all different on more than one side. So just, I don't know, this one's the one where I was like, really? I think it's just like too many decisions at some point becomes like decision fatigue, because either one of these could work perfectly. But yeah, I could totally see myself using any of these like thin booklet style for all the subjects where I'm making the planners smaller. I don't need a giant 7x9 planner as a content planner. I don't need a giant one for my workout planner anymore. I was really content in an A5 coiled one for all, gosh, 1 year. I went bigger the next year, and then I was like, oh, I need a smaller one again. Before my shingles medical stuff happened, I had set these weekly ones up. I took all the monthlies actually out of a TN full year. I just didn't need the monthlies in there. Stuck them in the front of one of these, the part 1 of this weekly one, and I was going to use this for my workouts, and then just, you know, got sick, had to be off the bike for a long time, and just now getting back into working out a little bit. So I don't see myself needing an entire dedicated, like, big chunky planner for fitness wellness, but something like this that's a monthly, or something like this that's just, you know, a weekly page, an aligned page every week could be a really great fitness wellness situation for me. I've got lots and lots of options for going much smaller for things, and I really want to try potentially stuffing as many things as possible into here. But when I'm doing certain things, I kind of want a separate one. Like if I'm doing just related to book stuff, I don't necessarily want it in my like catch-all everything type planner. So I do think I'll still probably keep a couple of subjects in the smaller, thinner ones, but not a whole lot in an entirely separate, robust style planner, because I think I'm going to put most of my stuff in here, and I could totally get away with, you know, at least putting one subject here in the front. These monthlies I'll actually use as like family monthlies, so it's not going to be like a reading log or a fitness log on these dedicated monthlies that are between the things. I might tab these monthlies, not December, but January onward, I might actually add tabs so I can keep track of our family schedule on these monthlies. But I could totally see a situation where this could be all my fitness stuff in the front here, or all my hobby stuff. Gaming I will have separate in a little weeks, like Hobonichi Weeks style planner, because I did get the Tamagotchi Weeks. I'm gonna try to do mostly a one planner system and see how this evolves over the year, and see what I really want to focus on, what things I need to keep track of. Use these pages as my dedicated like bullet journal style to-do listing situation, and see how much I can really pack into one book and have the one book to rule them all kind of thing. I think I'm just gonna have so much fun playing around with this from week to week and finding what works, what sticks, what I change from week to week. It's not one that I'm gonna decorate ahead of time. It'll be like every Sunday I sit down to decide how I'm going to use it for this week and try out different things until I find something that I really, really like in the system. I've been in the Daily Duo daily planner for so long, I just make my to-do list on there every day, and it's become a really good habit, but it's about to run out. Running out, I think, this week, actually, so I'm going to be out of Daily Duo pages and the one I was using up to completion, and then I don't know what I'll use instead for the remainder of the year before this kind of planner kicks in. I think that wraps up everything. I'm gonna go ahead and hop to my outro that I already filmed earlier. I think that's it for today. I talked your ear off. I talked for 1,000 years because I'm so excited about this one. I wanted to share all my ideas and thoughts moving into this because I kind of want it to mostly sort of kind of be a one and done planner. But yeah, with the exception of like little subjects on the side and my cake pop planner, my business stuff being completely separate, although I'll put like my daily tasks. This will still have all my cake pop to-do list stuff on it where I'm doing bullet style stuff, and I might end up doing the thing where I divide the page into half or a third and 2/3 on this side and putting my pickup times. You know, people will have pickup windows, so I gotta make sure everybody's orders are done, and I really relied on a lot of planning this last week to get everything done and ready for people. So the more orders I get, the more I'm gonna have to rely on my paper systems. I do use a couple of digital systems as well. I like to have paper systems for things, especially like daily to-do listing stuff. Like I I need to know what cakes I need to be prepping, what shapes and designs and things I need to be doing on a daily basis. And the more orders I have, the more important it is for me to keep track of all that stuff and write it all down and streamline everything. Things have to be figured out in advance, and I think that's where I thrive in my new business, is where I'm a planner girly. I can totally prep for the orders. So when I had this huge week this last week where I'm like, oh wow, I don't know if I can take any more orders after that 4 dozen. I'm like, I will have to pass if anybody else writes to me, because I'm at my capacity now and I'm not sure I can add any more onto that. I knew I could do her 4 dozen, but I knew it was going to be tight, especially with birthday prep as well. Yeah, I'm definitely getting to that point where I have to rely on systems to make sure those weeks flow really nicely, because there's a lot that goes into running a business. And yeah, it's been fun, but this last week I was like, oh, I really am glad I have a cake pop planner so I can document everything. And I like timelined my 3 big, huge busy days. I timelined like what steps I needed to do. And I did a big cake baking day, and then the next day I did a big cake baking day to prep everything. Love doing my little business, and I love being able to incorporate planners in with that as well. It's like my 2 loves, baking and planning. Anyway, that is it. I hope you guys liked it. I talked your ear off, but I wanted to give you all the details. Be sure to like and subscribe and follow me along for more planner videos, because it's planner season, baby. I'm so excited. Got lots more planners either on pre-order or already on the way or through affiliate stuff. I hope you guys are excited about your planners. Tell me what you guys are getting for 2026. Let me know what sterling inks you got, if you got any, or what other planners are on your list. And I will catch you guys next time. Have a great day, guys. Bye. What's up?
Dad's asleep, so I don't want to wake him up.
He's sleeping on the couch? Yeah. Oh my gosh, he's such an old man sleeping on the couch watching.
Can I pop some popcorn?
Yeah, I don't care. He doesn't mind if you wake him up. That's funny.
I told you. I don't want to wake him up.
Then get a different snack. You don't want to wake him up.